And just like that, we back in the other part one. Is that what that is? That thing is it recording part two? All right, let's play this part two. All right then.
The 8 News Now investigators obtained show how police pieced this case together. Video the 8 News Now investigators obtained shows 25-year-old Brian Altamirano Solano walking hand in hand with Erica Covington and Ariana Taylor, both 20, minutes before the women are accused of killing him. It's 2:35 a.m. on Monday, May 15th. Police say a camera inside a Caesars Palace hallway captures the trio walking to Altamirano Solano's room, prosecutors noting the bag slung over his chest. 14 minutes later, that same camera catches Covington and Taylor running away. Police say one of them has their victim's bag on her as she drops her phone. Detectives getting more surveillance video, this one from a different strip property. They say one of the women is wearing the bag as she charges her phone.
Go off in the screenshot, please.
Prosecutors say Covington and Taylor are the duo in these Instagram videos shown to a grand jury where they're wearing the same or similar outfits as the morning of the murder. More photos show the hotel room door, where police say just 15 minutes transpired before the women allegedly shot and killed Altamirano Solano. Inside, officers say they found a cartridge casing matching Taylor's gun. Altamirano Solano had stayed in the room with a different woman who told investigators he didn't speak English and was in the U.S. from Nicaragua seeking asylum. Other evidence in the case includes 2 explicit videos of the women and Altamirano Solano inside the room, recorded at 2:44 and 2:45. Minutes later, the women are seen running down that hallway. It wouldn't be until 11 that morning, more than 8 hours later, a worker found Altamirano Solano dead on the floor from a gunshot. Now, both women have pleaded not guilty and they're due in court again Thursday. The 8 News Now investigators reached out to a friend named in court documents, and she asked for privacy at this time.
You see this time again and again and again and again and again. Dudes went to the casino. Dudes went to the football place. Dudes went out and met 2 wretched women. Those Instagram is a great platform. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, they're all good, great platform. There's a lot of good stuff in there, but there's that other side that you really don't want to get involved with. And they met those women, and 15, they could have just robbed the guy and then, take the money. They murdered him. And then they run out of the hotel, go out there, charge their phone, and then, and played not guilty. Listen, brethren, let me tell you something concerning those women. Okay? You see those type of women? This is not the first time they've been doing things like that. They are only 20 years old. They're only, both of them, 20 years old. That means they were born like 2003. That's not the first time they done this. That's not the first time they got out or they get of things like that. They've been, ever since they were little children, little girls, they've been lying and get away with it. Whatever lies they said, whatever lies they told, they get away with it. That's why they are very calm. And then when they go to the prison, then they are laughing, smiling for the picture. Because this is nothing but a game to them. Up until they spent 30 years in prison. After 30 years, when they are 50 in prison, and they realize that they ain't gonna get out. They realize that they're gonna die there. They're going to die here, and they have nothing to show for it. All they can show is some Instagram picture, or they murdered someone. And things like that happen again and again all the time. It's been happening for years. Guys take 2 women to their house, to a motel, and then they ended up killing the guy and take everything. Most of the time, it's the fellow fault. Why? When you met, those guys like to impress women with their money, with their value. A lot of guys, they get crazy with the whole value thing. And they think value is all about money, how much money you make, because that's how value you are. That's your worth, excuse me. Before somebody come after me. Your worth. They lure women with their worth. Like, are those women worth it? Those 2 women, are they worth it? You bring them in there with you, and the promise of money, or you probably stunt on them with that money, and they have guns, They shot and kill you and take your money. You know, of course, those women will claim that he tried to rape me, he tried to, that's why I shot and kill him, and then call the police and then run away, and I got arrested and stuff like that. And I played not guilty. That's how confident they feel, brethren. Okay, this guy was a fellow from Nicaragua, came in to seek asylum, and a lot of people in Nicaragua is I believe a socialist or communist or whatever. A lot of those guys are wealthy, okay? They do horrible things in Nicaragua. They did terrible things, and they come and they hide here. You know, just like the Haitians. All the Haitians that you see here, they are not here because, they are here because things are not good in Haiti and stuff like that. They're here because they do terrible things over there, or their family have done terrible things, and they come and hide here. All right? But, beloved, listen, man. There are certain people you should be able to read them the moment they come, the moment you see them. For instance, casino, Vegas, those things are not for you, man. If you're not there on business, or if you're not there of doing something meaningful, you don't go there for pleasure anymore, man. This is not the time for this, man. This dude is young, two young women, 20 years old, you brought them in your place, and then they ended up killing you. You could, this thing could spin into a whole podcast, but there are certain people, the moment you get close to them, you can read them like a book. You can read to their speech, the way they talk. You're like, Hey, can we go to your room and hang out? I got my wife and children, child in there. I can't. Well, can we go somewhere and hang out? I can't. They're waiting on me. I'm sorry, though. That's fine. They will move to the other victim. They will move to other potential victim. Beloved, come on, man. We see these things happen so many times, man. And within 15 minutes, brethren. That means that's not the first time they've done things like that. They've been doing things like that. They got caught because of the camera. That's why that day, I will never, ever forget this day when I went to this market, when this young lady, it looked like that girl. Okay, she looked at the guy, made a joke about him. And she literally tell him, I can kill you. And I will never go to jail. They will never find out if I did it. Make no mistake. I'm not quite sure if Erica is not somewhat in Eric there. Erica's give me that Eric vibe, but you don't know. Yeah, it could be a massive transformer in there. The massive giant Adam apple here and all that. But anyway, Erica could turn out to transform herself into a Eric. But anyway, the point is, like, when that woman said, I can kill you, and they will never find out if I did it. And he said, I'm not playing with you. And I could see it, brother. There's something in me, not fear though. There was something in me that moved and said, this woman have done these things before. And she from Georgia. She said something to that effect. And the guy said, "Oh, you from Georgia or something?" She said something. She from Georgia, Atlanta. I don't think Atlanta. Somewhere in Georgia. She come down there, and she was dead serious. Those are the women. She didn't get away. They didn't get away because there was camera that showed their faces and tracked them. Okay, but if this thing happened in the hood, there's no way they would have found those people. There is no way. That's why a lot of people, they find them dead. They still cannot find them. And those women do. Brethren, listen, there are people out there that committed murder years ago. They never find out who they are. And they become so good at killing people, and they never been found out. And when those people threaten to kill you, they will. They can. That's why I personally, anytime somebody you threaten my life, I make sure that once you say this, I connected your voice or transferring what you say straight to the Akasha principle. Whether in written word, whether in letter, whether in you talk, I make sure I transfer this. Because that's what those people do. When you're around those girls, you can feel the energy, the murdering instinct in them. They all up after the money. Anytime I'm a baddie, I'm a this, I'm a dad, I'll do anything for money, run. If you're in a hotel room with them, get out of the room without opening the window or the door. Okay, this is a tragedy here, but hey, man, this is crazy out there, man. Whew, good grief.
29 years of marriage, and he would always worry for us, provide for us, for him and I.
Here you can see photos of 52-year-old El Pasoan Daniel Piedra Garcia. Police say he was shot on US 54 South at Loop 375 exit by a 48-year-old woman, Phoebe Copas, from Kentucky.
45, 48. Is that what that is? Let's listen to the numbers, see what's going on here.
Exit by a 48-year-old woman.
Okay, 54. 54, 48, you know, he got shot on 54. You know, 5 plus 4, you know what to do. And the woman that shot him, 48.
Phoebe Copas from Kentucky.
Oh, Phoebe. Isn't Phoebe is the god of, is that Phoebe? Google. Phoebe, the god of Shemesh. Is that what that is? Phoebe. What does that mean? Oh.
Here's the definition of Phoebe. An American tyrant flycatcher with mainly gray-brown or blackish plumage.
Okay, well, that's not what that is. What does the name Phoebe means?
Bright or radiant. According to the bump, if you're looking for a name that reflects the light baby will bring into your life, you've hit the right note with Phoebe. This Greek girl's name means bright or radiant and refers to the Greek god of the sun, Phoebus Apollo.
Yeah, Phoebe. Phoebe was the daughter of Apollo, Shemesh, the god of the sun. But a Shemeshite is supposed to be a brilliant woman, but something like that is not brilliant at all.
Where there are signs for Juarez, Mexico. Police say Piedras was driving the woman from the west side to the lower valley, and at some point Copas thought she was being...
Good grief. Oh, man. That's, again, let me enlarge this, man. Beloved, there are certain people, I don't know if it's just now I'm getting those skills. There are certain people, once you look at the person in the face or you be around this person, you could automatically say something is not right and I better need to distance myself from people. Now, some of you know Big Levi famously had a taxi company. I had my own taxi and stuff like that. Uber put me out of business, and which I have no problem with that because they were better than you. They come with better technology, and you got bit. You lost the money, and that's it. One thing I'll say, things like that would have never happened in a taxi cab, because once you call a taxi, how would you the taxi cab driver gonna kidnap you and go to Mexico with you? But I don't know what happened here, but these Uber drivers, a lot of them are getting killed. Uber is a very dangerous job. In fact, you get more Uber people are getting killed or drive. Not only the passengers are getting killed, the more Uber driver and passenger are killed than police officers. Uber is a very dangerous job. Okay, even Uber Eats. The other day we had a video in Florida where a guy, he delivers. He tell his wife, "Hey, this is my last delivery. Then I'm done, and I'm gonna go ahead and come back and come home." He never made it home. He delivered the food to a guy that was in the state of Indianapolis, in the city of Indianapolis or Indiana, the state, and he murdered him and cut him into pieces. He just delivered the food to the guy, and then the guy, he murdered him. So it's a very dangerous job, man.
Taken to Mexico and shot Piedra.
RP advising that Uber isn't letting her get
Side to the lower valley, and at some point Copas thought she was being taken to Mexico and shot Piedra.
RP advising that Uber isn't letting her get out of the vehicle. It's going to be a silver gray Nissan. She doesn't know where she is. RP is crying over the phone.
Police have said that the investigation does not support that a kidnapping took place or that Piedra was veering from Copas' destination.
He's not a criminal or a kidnapper like people are assuming on the internet. It's so easy to go make your assumptions and just make up scenarios, but that's not who he is.
It's very easy. He's very easy. People like to do this. The moment the internet is a safe place, they will accuse you of doing anything. I knew that guy was going to kill. Good job, she murdered him before he murdered her. You know, he was kidnapping her from, you know, the U.S. and then bring her to Mexico, not kidnapping her to Mexico and bring her deep into Mexico. And then the guy, you know, got killed.
He's a hardworking man. He's the sole provider for Leo and my aunt.
Piedras' family says he had just started driving for Uber in May. We reached out to Uber and they sent us a statement reading in part, quote, "We are horrified by the rider's actions. Violence is not tolerated on the Uber platform, and we banned the rider as soon as we were made aware of what occurred.
Okay.
Our thoughts are with Mr. Garcia and his loved one."
What, and then that you banned her? What? You banned the rider? That's all? And you never ride Uber again. And one thing, Bridget, I never really speak against Uber, or I never said anything against Uber. I've had my fair share. One time when Uber just came out, I was in the, you know, in the taxi business. A lot of people glorify Uber, how revolutionary that thing was, how it's gonna make life better, boost the economy. A lot of people going to make a lot of money with Uber because, you know, what is it that, you know, this thing, hey, people drunk, get in your car, you know, money go straight to your account. That's the best business. And I got involved into argument with people, and I realized that the reason why people talking about this thing because of the app. That's all. It has an app. That's all. That's why it's the app. Because of the app. That's all. Because this thing has an app. And then you can get people money and drive them around in your car. And this woman thought she was going to kidnap, and she killed this fellow. Crazy.
Because I know that people are also saying that there was a language barrier. There was not a language barrier. My uncle spoke English.
A lot of people will come up with things just to make this guy look guilty. You know, she thought she was going to be kidnapped, and she killed him.
A shootout on the streets in Livonia, and it was caught on camera.
It happened this afternoon on Rensselaer Street, putting neighbors on the edge of their seats. And tonight, the people involved are under arrest. Mara McDonald live at Livonia Police Headquarters. Mara, we're talking rounds of gunfire here that went off.
Kimberly, smack dab in the middle of the day. Livonia police were out there very quickly. Neighbors rolled on it all. Let me show you. Before this neighbor turned his phone to record, he'd already heard 3 gunshots. Listen closely. Then another shot. It's all coming from across the street. You see that white pickup truck trying to back out? There's a black VW right behind it, trying to do the same. Now, watch as the real shooting starts. You see the one man running and shooting. Neighbors say he lives in the home. His next door neighbor in green is also out with his weapon raised. As the white truck and black VW attempt to run, neighbors capturing the moment. Another one of those who showed up at the house tried to run and fell out of this Jeep. Neighbors tell us Livonia police were on the scene in 90 seconds and spent hours in the home where the original gunman came running out of. What happened here? The initial story being told is the people in the white truck and black VW came to the home as part of an ongoing child custody dispute. The child's father lives in the home. The mother and her friends were in the vehicles which arrived at the house. Neighbors like Carly McMillan came home just after the shooting stopped.
As we were coming home, we saw one of the trucks at the chill box on the corner surrounded by cops. We thought, okay, maybe that was what was happening. And then when we came down the street, we saw, I don't know, maybe like a half dozen cop cars, canine units, and then just a whole bunch of police activity.
At a loss to understand what was happening, another neighbor filled her in.
My neighbor next door, she was, had told me that there was a shootout, and it kind of seemed very surreal because this is a very nice neighborhood.
Of course.
Back here live, police telling us that they have multiple people in custody.
Livonia sound like a country in Eastern Europe. But anyway, man, crazy. Okay, it's plague number 9. Plague number 5. It's crazy. It's crazy, right? Oh, okay. For nearly 50 years, children as young as 9 were forcibly sterilized in Japan. The country passed a law in 2019 compensating victims of the sterilization sterilization program. Now, anytime you hear a group of people being forced to be sterilized, you can assume those group of people, they are connected to us. Okay, so Japan, the Japanese children forcibly sterilized under government program to prevent inferior descent. Okay, inferior descent, dark skin. They've been putting Japan been in the news right now because, of course, when they say inferior descent, they are talking about our people that were still in the land over there in Japan. Okay, I'll show you a video. Okay. The eugenics protection law was in effect in Japan from 1948 to 1996 to prevent the birth of inferior descent and to protect the life or health of the mother. Okay, right after they dropped the bomb in Nagasaki, Hiroshima. Okay, so and after 1940 or 1996, they were sterilizing, our people. That's what it is. There's no way around that. And I will show you the hypocrisy, what they are doing over there in Japan. All right? Like, many of the victims were physically or cognitively disabled. Well, of course, that's what they will say, Others suffer from mental illness or leprosy. See, keyword here, leprosy. That doesn't mean, if you're freaking Japanese, you suffer from leprosy. That, what the hell? You white ass, man. What? No. Many mental illness, they were black people, black Japanese, black Japanese. They were killing them. And like leprosy, already white. They were like brown people, black folk, and then they were killing them and say, hey, they have mental health, that's why they are dark, and then they're killing them. Okay? And Hansen disease. All right? Children were among the 16,500 people sterilized without their consent. All right? And then people are wondering why Japan, why things are going on in Japan, why they are not reproduced, why can't they have kids, why most of those 3 men that sit here, they are not young men, they are very old and they are dying, and now they are coming and say, we were wrong, we destroyed the original inhabitant in there. Okay, Japan's parliament received a long-awaited report about the impact of the eugenics law. See, the thing is, like, they're always trying to make it seem like, oh, those people are disabled and stuff like that. They act like all those people that are disabled, whether physically and mentally, can have kids. Most of them have children. Barely. You have like a 0% of people that are disabled that actually have children that can take responsibility for kids. Because having kids is you need to get a lot of responsibility. And there's a lot of people that are mentally ill. They have children out there. Okay, so that has nothing to do with mental health and stuff. This is a cover up. Those people were our people, and then they got they got killed over there. Again, I'll show the other. You know what? Let me put the video there, so I will not forget it. I'm gonna put it there. Let me go look for it first, and then I'll put it there. All right, I'll find the video. I'll find it. With all this, I'm just going to close with that. I'm just going to close with this. Just going to close with that. Oops. I'm just going to close with this, and then I'll make this video separately. Alright, beloved. There should be another video coming up, but I'll close with that. I'll make the video about the Japanese thing, differently by itself.